Welcome to Infidelity Secret. Your support is everything to us. 90% of you haven't subscribed yet, so please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so we can keep bringing you amazing content. Also, we'd love to know where you're watching from. Leave your city in the comments. Now, let's dive into today's tale. I don't really know where to start. Even now, sitting in the dim glow of my living room lamp with a warm mug between my palms and the clock blinking 2:08 a.m., I still can't believe I'm the one telling this story. It feels like a confession I never wanted to make, like something ripped from the pages of someone else's life. But no, this is my life, my truth, my burden. My name is Lisa. I'm 37 years old, and I've been married to Aaron for 15 years. We met in college. He was the guy who sat at the front of the lecture hall, always with a notebook perfectly outlined, highlighters neatly arranged by color. He wasn't flashy or loud. He was thoughtful, observant, genuine. He helped me pass statistics, and somewhere between study sessions and cafeteria dinners, I fell in love with him. Not a burning, reckless love, but a steady, safe one. We got married 3 years later, bought a home in Indianapolis, and for a while, everything was fine. Not perfect, but fine. Aaron works in IT, reliable, focused, a man who thrives on structure and problem solving. I work from home as a freelance graphic designer. My job gives me flexibility, but also solitude, a lot of it. We'd always talked about having kids, but after years of disappointment, tests, and quietly held tears, we stopped trying. We told ourselves we were enough, that we didn't need more to be happy. But time has a way of softening memories and sharpening pain. The days began to blend. Morning coffee, emails, deadlines, dinner, sleep, repeat. Aaron and I weren't fighting. We just stopped seeing each other. We were polite, supportive, even kind. But we were no longer partners in the way we once were. Our conversations revolved around groceries, errands, taxes. The spark, whatever it had once been, was buried beneath the routine. I didn't feel unhappy exactly, but I didn't feel anything deeply either. And that's a kind of heartbreak people don't talk about. The slow erosion of connection. The way love doesn't explode, it fades. And then Jordan entered our lives. He was Aaron's old high school friend. They reconnected through a mutual friend, and soon Jordan was around every couple of weeks for football games, weekend barbecues, and occasional beers. He had recently gone through a divorce and moved back to town. Jordan was everything Aaron wasn't. Emotionally present, curious, warm in a way that made people want to open up. At first, I was just polite, then friendly, then invested. He noticed things. He asked real questions. He remembered when I said I was trying oil painting again after years. He complimented my art like it meant something. And for the first time in a long time, I felt seen. Nothing happened between us for a while, not physically, but emotionally. Oh, that line was crossed long before I admitted it to myself. There were texts, inside jokes, long conversations when Aaron wasn't around. I told myself it was harmless, that I was just enjoying the attention. But deep down, I knew I was unraveling a thread that couldn't be rewoven. The turning point came one summer evening. Aaron was out of town for a conference. Jordan stopped by to drop off a package Aaron had asked him to bring by. We sat on the porch. The sky was painted in deep purples and reds. We talked for hours. And at one point, he looked at me and said, "You look sad, even when you smile." I didn't know how to respond, so I didn't. I just looked away, my throat tight. That night, I cried in bed. Not because I had done something wrong, but because I wanted to. Because part of me wished he had kissed me, and part of me hated myself for it. From then on, I was two people. One who smiled at Aaron across the dinner table, and one who waited for a text from Jordan. My heart was torn between a man I had built a life with and a man who made me feel alive again. The affair wasn't physical, not then, but it was real. And it consumed me. It finally crossed the line one afternoon when Aaron was at work. Jordan and I met for lunch, a neutral place, public, safe. But there was a storm between us, years of emotional buildup crashing into a moment we couldn't ignore. He reached for my hand, and I let him. We didn't kiss. We didn't go home together. But that moment sealed a truth. What we were doing was no longer innocent. If it ever had been. I tried to stop. I really did. I told Jordan we couldn't continue, that I loved Aaron, that I needed to make things right. And he nodded. He said he understood. But then I'd see him at a neighborhood party, or he'd send a message checking in, and the pull would return like gravity. I started living in a lie so thick I could barely breathe. Then one night, after another party where we barely spoke but exchanged 1,000 glances, Aaron turned to me in bed and said, "You've been distant. Is something wrong?" My heart stopped. I wanted to scream yes, to confess, to beg him to notice how lost I'd been. But I just said, "I'm tired." He kissed my forehead. And I turned away, tears wetting the pillow. The breaking point came when Aaron found my journal. I hadn't meant to leave it out, but I had. And in it were pages of pain, of longing, of truths I hadn't dared say aloud. He didn't confront me right away, but the silence in the house was different. He was present, but far, watching me in a way that was both accusing and heartbreaking. Eventually he asked, "Did something happen with Jordan?" And I broke. I told him everything, through sobs and shame and silence. I told him I hadn't slept with Jordan, but that I had betrayed him all the same, that I had fallen emotionally for someone else, that I didn't recognize myself anymore. Aaron didn't yell, he didn't curse, he just stared at the wall for a long time, then he packed a bag and left. For 3 days, I didn't hear from him. I thought it was over. I sat on our couch, clutching a pillow, whispering apologies into the air. I deleted every message from Jordan. I blocked his number. I shut down everything that wasn't about facing what I had done. When Aaron came back, he looked tired. Not angry, just broken. "I don't hate you," he said, "but I don't trust you either." And so began the hardest chapter of our marriage. One of therapy, of rebuilding, of brutal honesty. We talked like we hadn't in years. We cried, we screamed, we wrote letters. We unpacked not just the affair, but the years of silence that led to it. Aaron told me he had felt lonely too, that he had buried his pain in work, that he had stopped trying because he thought I was content. We decided to stay. Not because it was easy, but because there was something still worth saving. It's been a year since then. We still go to counseling. We still have hard days. But we also have new memories. Weekend hikes, late night talks, laughter. I don't romanticize what I did. I don't justify it. But I understand it now. And I fight every day to be better. For Aaron. For myself. Love isn't a feeling. It's a choice. One you have to make even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. So that's my story. A story of broken vows and painful truths, but also, hopefully, a story of redemption. If you've made it this far, thank you. If you're hurting, please know you're not alone. And whatever choice you make, let it be one that brings you back to yourself. Until next time, take care of your heart and take care of each other. Thank you for watching Infidelity Secret. Like, subscribe, and share this story if it resonated with you. And if you have a story of your own, we're here to listen.